Wake Mr. Bear by Jill Newton. Down in the wood between two oak trees a golden leaf floated to the ground. Dormouse struck his triangle. Ting! He was the leader of the woodland orchestra, and it was time for the lullaby of the forest to begin. Dormouse gathered the orchestra together. "Places, please," he said. The squirrels sat in their trees and blew the sound of the breeze. Plonk, plonk, plink. The wood pigs tapped their xylophones, and the acorns dropped from the trees. Thrum! The rabbits strummed their harps as the leaves fluttered down around them. "Perfect," yawned Dormouse. "Perfect music for the long winter sleep. I'll see you in the spring. And remember, whatever you do, don't wake Mr. Bear." With that, he went off to bed. The gentle music was making everyone and everything feel very sleepy until suddenly, bang! A carload of wolves crashed into a tree. "Howdy!" called one wolf, tooting his horn. "Do you want a party?" yelled another. "Shh!" whispered the squirrels. "Be quiet, you'll wake Mr. Bear." But the wolves weren't listening. Out of the car came the wolves, drums and their lights and their speakers. "Go away," begged the rabbits. "You'll wake Mr. Bear." "We don't care. Don't be silly, old bear," sang the wolves. Before long, the squirrels and the rabbits and the wood pigs didn't care about Mr. Bear either. They were having much too much fun until... Roar! "Uh-oh," said the squirrels. "It's time for you to go." "You've woken Mr. Bear," said the rabbits. "But we're on holiday," protested the wolves. Mr. Bear turned towards the animals. "Don't be ridiculous," he said to them. "If these chaps are on holiday, we must show them a good time." Mr. Bear grabbed a snazzy-looking shirt and led the party, dancing and stomping through the forest all night, creating the loudest rumpus of all. The sun had just started to rise when there was a sudden crash. The party animals stopped in their tracks. There stood a very tired and very angry Dormouse. "What did I tell you not to do?" he yelled at the rabbits. "You told us not to wake Mr. Bear," they replied. "And what have you done?" he yelled at the squirrels. "Woken Mr. Bear," they said meekly. "And what made you wake Mr. Bear?" The squirrels and the rabbits waited for the wolves to explain, but the wolves were nowhere to be seen. Mr. Bear bumbled over. "Great timing, little fellow. Where's the food? I'm feeling peckish." "Food? There is no food, you silly bear. The forest is going to sleep, just like you should be. Without rest, the trees won't grow any berries or nuts. There'll be no juicy bugs to pick up. And how would you feel then?" Dormouse shouted. "Not very happy," mumbled Mr. Bear. "So be quiet then and go to bed," shouted Dormouse. Ting! Dormouse struck his triangle. The squirrels climbed up into their trees. The wood pigs tapped their xylophones and the rabbits picked up their harps. The woodland orchestra played. the lullaby of the forest once more as Mr. Bear yawned and shuffled back off to his cave. Perfect, yawned Dormouse. Perfect music for the long winter sleep. Just one more thing. He turned to the wolves, hiding up in the trees. I'd like you lot to keep time but quietly. After all, you don't want to wake Mr. Dormouse, do you? Thank you for listening. The end.